Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another week of Red Wolves Live. I'm Kamen Enchev.
I'm Blake Gwynn. A-State lost 45-27 to Texas State on Thursday. Falls to 6-5, 4-3 in the Sun Belt.
The Red Wolves have now also lost 3 straight games. We'll talk about what all that means later on, but for now, let's check out the highlights. Check out these sweet fireworks as Texas State hosted A-State. That was pretty cool. Late in the first quarter, play action, Tyler Jones on the run, and he tosses a 2-yard touchdown pass, 7-0 Bobcats. But the Red Wolves come right back in the second quarter. Freddie Knighton airs it out, and Blake Mack, the Mack attack, with a nice catch for the 47-yard touchdown, 7-0. But here's the story of the game for ASU, pretty much the season too. ASU just couldn't stop Robert Lowe. He had 236 of the 370 Texas State rush yards. This 26-yard touchdown was one of his 4 scores. CJ Best led the way for the Texas State receiver. Here he catches the slant pass and simply outruns the D for the 70-yard touchdown. He had 105 receiving yards. 21-7 Texas State. That cannon went off a lot tonight. The rain came down too, but it didn't stop the offenses. But what's an Arkansas State football game without a targeting call? This time it goes against Money Hunter. Let's take another look. This might be a tough call, but of course we know the Red Wolves never get the benefit of the doubt on these calls. As Hunter's ejected for the game, you see him headed to the locker room right there. Still playing, though, Robert Lowe, and Lowe's still finding the end zone. This 9-yard touchdown makes it 28-7. But the Red Wolves wouldn't go away just yet. Freddie floats it up to a wide-open Booker Mays for a 26-yard touchdown. A-State trailed 28-14 at the half.
Wind to blow in the second half, but A-State's new kicker, he was not going to be fazed by any of that. Logan Spry sinks an 18-yard field goal. It's 28-17 Bobcats. All right, still in the third. It looks like the Red Wolves are going to get something going here. Booker Mays. And you know what, though? Regardless of what happened, it was a nice run by him. He jukes and jives his way, gets into the end zone, but unfortunately, there's a flag on the play. It's a legal block in the back. Nothing would do on that drive for the Red Wolves. But then Texas State would get a field goal, so would ASU. Spry would do it again, this time 28 yards out. It's 31-20. All right, but then there's Texas State, and there's Mr. Lowe again. Can we call him Rob Lowe?
Rob Lowe?
Yeah, he's Mr. Touchdown Rob Lowe, and he likes that. 24-yard run for pay dirt. Bobcats fans loving it. Now it's 38-20. Red Wolves would answer. Johnston White. Selke makes an appearance in our highlights. This is a 1-yard carry. Now, there's some familiar faces in the crowd at Texas State. You recognize them, Colin. You know who those people are. Look at a bunch of ASU fans there. We cut the lead down to 11 at that point, but the Bobcats were too much again as touchdown Rob Lowe makes another appearance. This time it's 50 yards. It's an extended run here, and the Red Wolves fall 45-27. Texas State gains bowl eligibility.
Yeah, and let's look at the stats. Freddie Knighton threw a career-high 57 passes in the loss, which led to a career-high 366 passing yards. Freddie threw 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, completing 54% of his passes.
Heard from Spry there, the new kicker, made both of his field goals, 18 and 28 yards. Spry also made all 3 of his extra points.
But the A-State defense was the big problem. The Red Wolves allowed 370 rushing yards and 45 points in the loss.
Yeah, you've seen the highlights, you've seen the stats coming up. Red Wolves Live, we're going to hear from Blake Anderson on that 3rd straight loss. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Red Wolves Live, sponsored by George Kell Chevrolet Buick GMC in Newport, Arkansas State University, and Terrell Seeds.
Farming is agriculture, and agriculture is science. The science of increasing yields, expanding areas of cultivation, and producing climate-specific varieties. Terrell's Rev brand seed features focused adaptability, meaning it's target-specific. We've identified hundreds of genes that significantly help our seeds thrive in the South. Understanding the South isn't complicated. It's home. Terrell Seed, Seed of the South.
Hey, drop what you're doing and get down to George Kell right now.
Oh, what are you, a car salesman? I was supposed to do that.
No, hey, I sold cars, trucks, and none. Now, they were shot to pieces, but hey, man's got to do what he's got to do.
Seriously, if you're looking for a good vehicle, go to George Kell Motors.
And they deliver.
They do. Oh, they do. Yeah, they do.
Camo Shop's biggest sale of the year is only 6 days away. Save big during the Camo Shop's tent sale. Everything in the tent is 20 to 70% off. Plus, all items in the store are 10% off. Insulated hooded jackets, $20. Socks, 3 pair for $6. Drake Max 4 pullovers, quarter zip, $60. And Browning down jackets, only $25. Limited quantities while supplies last. Save big during the Camo Shop's tent sale. Friday and Saturday, November 28th and 29th. The Camo Shop at Stadium in Lawson in Jonesboro.
Welcome back to Red Wolves Live. We're continuing our recap of the 45-27 loss to Texas State.
Yeah, this game could certainly affect the bowl picture for the Sun Belt Conference, including Arkansas State, Texas State. Here's Coach Anderson after the game on his thoughts on what that means for their bowl chances.
We want to make it clear that we deserve to be there. We've battled through a lot. We traveled a short week, played a good football team. We've had great fan support all year. I mean, there's a lot of reasons the bowl would want us, I would think. The last 3 years should tell you enough. I think just the GoDaddy Bowl last year, the crowds was awesome. We traveled well, but we got to do our job. Our job is to go win a game next week, make ourselves 7-5, make it an easy decision for people to ask us to come, and that's really the goal. That's what we're planning on doing.
They got a chance to get into a bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Saturday's a must-win, right?
I think Saturday's a must-win. There's no way if you lose 4 straight games in the conference and you go 4-4 in the Sun Belt, 6-6 overall, 0% chance they make a bowl, in my opinion, if they go 6-6. Now, if they do win, we've talked about this. The crowd goes to the away games.
Right.
They do. And I think they'd still have a winning record. They'd not only be 6-6, they'd be 7-5. So I think if they win, I'd say it's about I'd say about 60% they go to the bowl. I guess it kind of depends what the score is this week.
Well, they were in this exact same position last year, where they were 7-5. I think it was reversed. I think they lost a game at the tail end of the season, but they were at this exact same position. You get 7-5, that's where they were at last year, and you're in a bowl game. So, I think it's a must-win. I think the fans have to show up on Saturday. You got to make a showing. I mean, this is a tryout for a bowl game.
Absolutely. And Saturday's opponent has lost 9 straight games. So if you don't win that one, you're not going. But I think they will. I think they will win.
I think they do. Let's see. We'll see about it.
Yeah.
All right. So something that continues to happen to the Red Wolves, we talked about this a little bit, it's those targeting penalties.
Yeah, A-State defensive back Andrew Trine has been one of the victims of a targeting ejection this season. Here's what he had to say about the targeting calls.
In a way it does, with the calls we've had, it really does. So, it's hard, it's a physical sport. The whole point of the defense is to inflict pain and be violent and inflict fear into the offense. And when we can't really hit them, it's hard to play our ball that we play.
Let me ask you this. For you guys, even though you lost this week, you lost last week it's been a short turnaround. You have an opportunity to go 7-5 with this game at home next weekend. What have you guys talked about?
The biggest thing is just about finishing. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish. It's a senior class, our last game at home. Still a chance to try to, sneak away into the bowl game. So, it's still a lot on the line for this season. So, there's no quit in our room.
If we had a Sun Belt referee in here, would have been called for targeting coming out of the break there.
Oh, I'm sure. Those refs have some problems.
Yes.
But you know what? We'll talk a lot about what's going to happen, what the problems have been with this team coming up next on Red Wolves Live.
Do you know the driver of this car? How about this one? Region 8 News caught them breaking the law by driving past school buses stopped to pick up young students. The worst part of all, they'll probably get away with it. Monday at 10 on Region 8 News. The Region 8 Christmas Showcase will help you find that perfect gift. Hear from Region 8 merchants on everything they have to offer to make your gift buying experience the easiest and the best. The Region 8 Christmas Showcase. Monday night at 6:30 here on KAIT.
Hope everybody is getting out and enjoying the weekend.
Yeah, the weekend temperatures were warmer, but will that last into the work week? I'll let you know.
And we'll have your local headlines and the latest overnight. We'll see you on Monday.
Region 8 News is always on. Streaming every newscast live on KAIT8.com and the Region 8 News app.
I'm Craig Ricketts.
And I'm Diana Davis. Region 8 News.
One click and you have the latest news.
Breaking news just into our newsroom. The second suspect
Tracking storms minute by minute, plus the latest forecast.
had a little bit of lightning with this.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, watch Region 8 News live online at KAIT8.com or with the Region 8 News app.
On the next Fix It and Finish It, Antonio transforms this sunroom
You just gotta use a little muscle.
into a beautiful, inviting porch.
Open air. Look, open air. You can look at your neighbors.
Fix It and Finish It.
Monday at 2 on KAIT. In Region 8, weather can change on a dime.
It's important to know what to expect throughout your day.
8 a.m., check the app, chilly. Better take a jacket. 2 p.m., check the app, sunny and warm. Great time for gardening. 6 p.m., check the app, showers. Looks like rain gear for the game.
With hourly forecast at your fingertips, you're never going to be caught off guard.
Download the Storm Track 8 weather app today.
Red Wolves Live, sponsored by George Kell Chevrolet Buick GMC in Newport, Arkansas State University, and Terrell Seeds.
Welcome back to Red Wolves Live. A-State loses 45-27 to Texas State. The Red Wolves have had a lot of injuries this season. Blake, do you think the injuries, you can blame the losses on the injuries? How much can you blame it on them, or is it kind of like you got to win the games?
You got to win the games, but by the same token, I'm not ready to just not blame the injuries altogether. I think that's a big part of it. Don't blame Coach Anderson for this.
Right.
Don't blame Coach Anderson for the fact. Here's the thing: the injuries are not to blame for the losses. The lack of depth is. And the lack of depth is not to be blamed on Coach Anderson. It's to be blamed on the coaching turnovers. Yeah, he didn't recruit really any players. I mean, those recruiting classes where you come in January and turn the class over by February are they're not recruiting classes.
Right.
It's like an expansion draft. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think certainly maybe the App State game where it was a 5-point game, sure, maybe there you can say maybe they could win, but this one was an 18-point game. But I got to completely agree with you on the Coach Anderson thing, and I think some ASU fans are going to be harsh on him, but I think this guy is the right coach. He has the right idea.
Right.
He really gets what this program is about. He gets it. He takes care of the kids. The players really like him. The community likes him as a person. I think beyond the fact that there's a lot of turnover, which you've talked about a lot the past few weeks, I think the fans have become spoiled with the amount of success they've had with the past 3 coaches. But beyond all that, he's a first-year head coach. Let's not forget about that. I mean, to think that this guy is going to be the greatest coach in the world in his first season, that's insane. That is literally insane. Right. I think this guy has a lot of room for improvement. I think Walt Bell, very young offensive coordinator, I think they've done a good job. I think they've been better than people think, but I think they're going to improve even more. It's a brand new staff with brand new players, and it's not only a new staff, it's an inexperienced staff.
Yes.
So they really get it. You give Anderson time. I mean, this guy is a good guy. You give him time to go into those rooms and you tell those kids, hey, you come play for me. They're going to believe him. Trooper Taylor, we know how good that guy talks. Trooper Taylor is one of the recruiters. You give Anderson and Trooper Taylor some time to go into those rooms and talk about the better facilities this school has, the wins they've had, and just good guys. You can really tell just listening to them. They're generally good guys.
Right.
Players are going to want to come here. The one thing I would like to see them do, though, is recruit some big defensive linemen.
Yes, the line has got to do something. And here's the thing. In a well-established program that's had a coach for 3 or 4 years, places like a Troy, where Larry Blakeney's out after this season. Injuries are not an excuse in a well-established program.
Right.
You need to have a line of succession of guys who can come in and get the job done for you late in the game. Okay? In this case, we saw it last year a little bit with Brian Harsin. The team wore down at the end of the season, and we saw it this year. And again, you brought up the point about the inexperienced coaching staff. That's where that'll come to bite you. They're in an impossible situation.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just, they've made some mistakes. I'm not completely excusing them, but if you're going to be one of these people that says, hey, I heard this multiple times from people, he got out-coached. Well,
that's ridiculous.
No. You're getting out-thought by your own brain.
Yeah.
If you think he got out-coached in any game this year, I didn't see that one time. Not one time.
I'm not saying coaches don't matter, but they always either get too much credit or not enough.
Yeah.
That's the nature of it. That's how it works.
That's it. Speaking of coaches.
Yeah, you'll hear from Coach tomorrow night, actually, on the Blake Anderson Show. It's produced right here in the KAT studios as Coach will break down this last game. And Blake Anderson Show is tomorrow at 10:35 right after Region 8 News at 10. Once again, A-State loses to Texas State 45-27. The final game of the regular season is next Saturday from Centennial Bank Stadium as the Red Wolves host New Mexico State in a must-win game, so we'll see you then.